know how it feels. Goody goody, so you gave her your heart too, just as I gave mine to you. And she broke it in little pieces. Now how do you do? So you lie awake just singing the blues all night. Goody goody, so you think that love's a barrel of dynamite. Hooray and hallelujah, you had it coming to you. Goody goody for her, goody goody for me. Now I hope you're satisfied, you rascal you.
Oh, good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to the Glittery Bunker. It's our big first anniversary show. Can you believe it? Well, we have lots of things in store for you today. We're going to talk about some tasty goodies. We're going to talk about the holidays. We have a visit from Mr. Dazzle. Well, Dick and Jane are certain to be there because, well, they're always there. And who knows, among all this nonsense, you might even learn stuff.
If you're stuck inside and you need some fun, she's the grande dame of getting it done. With Victoria Sautee.
I just love it when there's children yay for me. It makes me feel rather special, doesn't it? But let's see who's out there today. Who's out there? Oh, I see Christy's in there. Oh, thank you, darling. You're a regular, Christy. I mean that. I mean that in a kind way too. You're a regular. I wonder who else is out there. Say hello, chime in when Emma's here. Hello, dear Emma. It's nice to see you. I'm glad you're here on this rainy Sunday morning. Well, it might be dreadful outside, but it's quite cheery in here. Michael's here. How do you do, darling? Nice to see you. It really is. Well, you know, I've just been completely overtaken by all of the support and love you've given to me over the years, and I can't wait to see how long we can keep this show on. Well, hello there. I hope it's nice to see you. And Nancy's in the room today. How lovely. Now, I have a question for you to start the show, everyone. How many of you have had your vaccinations? Well, yes, I'd like to know. Did you find have a hard time to get yours? And a lot of people here have been having a difficult time, but I know some were quite successful. Some of them got one shot in the arm. Some of you got two. Did you get the Moderna? Did you get the J&J? Did you get the Pfizer? These are the questions I want to know. You know, I had quite a time trying to find a place close to the Glittery Bunker, and the only place I could get an appointment to actually was Julia's Bakery. That's right. The only place I could find was Julia's Bakery, but I went over there and, you know, I had my little vaccination. I got my shot in the arm. There I am getting it. Yes, the lovely doctor. He was actually not a doctor. He was a pastry chef. And instead of injecting me with the Moderna or the Pfizer or the J&J, he used a lovely pastry cream. He did. It's lovely. I feel like a piece of padded shoe. I do. Now, some of you have experienced side effects. The only side effect that I have an uncontrollable desire to eat cream puffs. And other than that, I feel really kicky and ready to take on the world. I do. Maybe I'll get out of this Glittery Bunker one day. I just might. You never know. They might let me out. Well, darling, I want to start the show with the word of the day because that's what I do. And today's word, it's a lovely word. Shelley, I have to get your comment off of that. How do I do it? Let's see. Oh, who's vaccinated? Yes. Let's go back and see what the word of the day is, darling. And the word of the day is interrobang. That's right, interrobang. It's a word we don't use all the time. I don't wake up in the morning and say interrobang, but maybe I should, because an interrobang is what happens when you combine a question mark with an exclamation point. Oh, that's an interrobang there. Do you use it? I think you probably do. It's a form of punctuation. It is. Now I use it in a sentence. Are you coming to my house this Friday? Do you see the excitement in my voice and the question at the same time? Were you injected with pastry cream? See, those are the kind of ways you use the interrobang. I just love a good interrobang. and I'm going to try to use it more often, and perhaps even during the show today, we'll have an interrobang or two. Well, as I said, it is our first anniversary. Any name here? And who knew? Who knew that the show would go on this long? Did you, darling? We started out with an interrobang twice a week, I think, and now we're up to I think today is our 43rd episode, thanks to you lovely people who keep tuning in and watching and sending those little heart icons, and I love when they little scroll up the screen. It fills me with unmixed delight, it does. Now, I will happily accept anniversary gifts, I will, and I think you all know that the traditional first anniversary gift is paper, and this year I think this would be quite appropriate anniversary gift. Now, the traditional gift in the United Kingdom is stockings, socks. That's what they give over there. What do they know over in the United Kingdom? They're giving each other socks. Or the modern gift, and who came up with these, by the way? Who came up with the gifts that they should give? But the modern gift is a clock. That's right. Now, look, you've learned something already. Now, if you're going to send me flowers, the first anniversary flower is the carnation. And what's wonderful about a carnation is they're affordable. They really are. And the stone, if you're going to give me some stones, a nice ring or some earrings, you want to make them out of mother of pearl, which is the gem of the first anniversary. Mother of pearl is this smooth and shiny substance, I believe. When I think of mother of pearl, I immediately think, I can't help but think about Pearl Bailey. Yes, Pearl Bailey, she was born in 1918. There she is shortly thereafter, a very young Pearl. She's a lovely lady, a funny lady, a talented lady. She went on the Broadway and performed in Hello, Dolly with Cab Calloway. How lovely. Now, I couldn't find any pictures of Pearl with her mother, because mother of Pearl Bailey. But I do have this lovely shot of Pearl Bailey with Mom's Mabley there. That's the closest I could get to Pearl's mother. But she's lovely. Mom's Mabley, quite funny, Now, Easter's coming around the corner, dearie, and instead of boring you with all sorts of various traditional Easter things and getting all religious, because everyone celebrates Easter, there's Passover, it's a religious time, and that's why I have a picture of the Brady Bunch up, because they're disciples of Easter. They are. Look at them there, merrily holding their little baskets. They're just so dear. They are. They really are. Emma, I've put that one in just for you. I did. But when I think of Easter, I think of two words. I think of Peeps and I think of Paas. And I'm going to start by talking about Peeps. There's one there. And look, I actually have one in my hand right here. This is a little Peeps plushie, a plushie Peep. And look, there's this little tag. It shows you he's an actual Peep. Now, Peeps are actually made of marshmallow. They come in chicks and bunnies. There's the bunny variety there, just lovely. They're made of sugar and corn syrup, gelatin, and dye. Everybody loves to eat dye. Nothing like ingesting a nice spoonful of dye, but it goes down easier when it comes in a marshmallow form, doesn't it? Now, they're a product of a company called Just Born, and for years I always thought, isn't that clever? Because they're little chicks and they're just born. Well, that's not the reason they're called Just Born. The man who created them, here he is, there's Sam Born. Just born, Sam Born, a peep, it just came out of an egg, it's just born, Sam Born. And he created these lovely little things down in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Yes, that's right. That's where the these marshmallows were initially formed by hand. And I'm not going to bore you by showing you any kind of a little video of people making them or them coming out of a machine. Instead, I want to cut right to the chase and tell you what we do with them now, because now we make them into all different flavors. And here's one, pickle Peeps, lovely. And then of course we have our Peep Oreos, which are just delightful. If you ever get a chance to put one in, I suggest you do. Peeps come in milk. They do. Basically, if you can put it in your mouth, it comes in Peeps. That's right. You can even wear Peeps, as you can tell by these lovely Peeps Crocs. If you want to wear Peeps on your feet. Now, there's also, we can't neglect the Peeps Competition, to where people see how many Peeps they can eat. It takes place every year, and here is the winner. That's him on the left side of your screen, where he put in 255 Peeps in just 5 minutes. How wonderful. That's right. The Peeps eating contest. I don't know how many I could fit in. 1 or 2, maybe. They're sweet, they are. Now, one thing that I do like to do with Peeps, though, and this is something that most people might poo-poo, but if you put them in the microwave, they get bigger. Let's watch. Do that? What makes them grow in the heat? I suppose they expand. They're plastic after all, aren't they? And also, I do want to mention an event that comes in California every year. It's called the Peep Off. Now, you would think that would be people looking in each other's windows, but it's not. People, creative artists, take Peeps, the little chicks and bunnies, and they put them in situations like this little diorama of the Peeps Wheel of Fortune set. Isn't that adorable? And there's fabulous prizes for making Peeps like that. There are. And of course, coming soon to a supermarket near you is this lovely product from our friends at Pepsi. It's Peeps flavored Pepsi, which of course should be called Peepsy, but I don't think they're that clever. Or maybe I'm just not clever enough for them. And yellow Peep soda makes sense, because when I think of yellow Peeps, I'd rather not say, darling. I'm that tasteful. I really am. Now, of course, in addition to Peeps at the Easter time, we think of Paas, Peeps and Paas, Peeps and Paas. Let's have a look at just what Paas is, shall we?
Paas really gets things rolling. Paas makes for family fun. Open the Easter egg color kit, and the good times have just begun.
Drop a colored tablet into vinegar and cold water.
Then dip a hard-boiled egg.
For a rainbow of beautiful Easter colors.
Paas really gets things rolling. With rubbers, egg holders too, of cotton, feathers, and lollipop, just to name a few.
So pick up a Paas Easter egg color kit and really
Pick one up, darling. You still can. They've been around. They were invented here in Newark, New Jersey by a pharmacist named William Townley. Now, William created these. He was, you would get your dye for eggs or for whatever you dye at the pharmacy. And they would come in these big jars. I don't have a picture. I'm sorry, love. But they would come in these big jars, and Mrs. Smith would come in and say, oh, I need a quarter cup of blue dye. And he'd reach in with the scoop, and the blue dye would spill all over his white jacket. It would spill all over Mrs. Smith. It would spill all over the counter. It'd be a mess. So Mr. Townley in 1893 decided, let me put the dye in little tiny packages. And that's where this whole thing began. That's right. Here's the factory where Mr. Townley made his little dye. And, you know, the word Paas. The word Paas actually comes from the Dutch word for Easter, Pasen. Pasen, Paas. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Now, of course, my favorite, do you have a favorite? My favorite egg dye kit that Paas makes is this one. It's the glitter cup. That's right. Oh, a glittery lady like me loves her Paas glitter cups. I wish I had one here now. I would jump inside if I possibly could. Well, that's our little Easter moment, but I want to go back to our anniversary, darling. Now, on our very first episode, do you remember that? Do you remember back a year ago today, I first introduced you to a book called Fun with Dick and Jane, and we did have some fun with them, didn't we? I'm going to show you a little clip from our very first Dick and Jane show. Watch this. Let's learn stuff. Let's learn stuff about the book Fun with Dick and Jane. That's right. Here's Dick and there's Jane. Look at Jane. Will you get a close up of her? I don't know if I like Jane that much. No, I don't. She was the kind of girl when I was a little girl. I used to cross the street when I'd see her coming the other. Oh my goodness, that's right. I didn't like Jane at first, and I don't know if I do now. But anyway, I hit it off with her eventually. And let's go back to the story because I want to show you what happens in that little story. Here we go. All right, this first story is called Something Pretty. So you see, there's Jane. And there's her little sister Sally, sweet and innocent. Look, they got matching purses. Where did they get those, I wonder? And there's Mummy. Look at Mummy trying on her hat in front of a piano. And she's in the mirror so you can see the hat twice. The hat's very important. So make sure you keep your eye on that hat. Something pretty. All righty, here we go. Mother said, look, see this. So that's the hat she's referring to. Oh, said Sally, it's pretty. Yes, said Jane. Mother looks pretty. Because that's the way Jane speaks. That's right, and if you've followed Jane, you know that that is the way Jane speaks. Eventually, Jane came around the glittery bunker, and she's in here somewhere, I'm not sure where. But the story goes on with Jane and her little sister Sally, and they're wrangling hats and stealing flowers so they can be as pretty as Mum. Watch this. Aha! Look at that! They're picking those flowers, aren't they? Oh, it must be hot out because little Sally's taken off her chapeau. But not Jane! Jane's gonna rip those flowers out of the garden. I want this, said Jane. And I want this and this. 3 for me and 3 for you. Well, at least she's fair, Jane. Maybe I've had her all wrong. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I've had her wrong or not, but I know she's around here somewhere. Jane, Dick, where are you? Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
There they are.
There we are.
Hi, Victoria.
Oh, it's nice to see you both, sort of. Now, I wanted to ask you something, Jane.
Yeah.
Now, why did you steal those flowers from the neighbor's garden?
Why not?
Oh, well, they weren't yours, were they?
I don't. Who's to say? Who's to say, Victoria?
Well, that's true.
That's very true.
That is
Yes,
true,
it's true.
but and then you stuck those dirty flowers into the pretty hat your mother gave you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you think that's a good thing?
Yeah. I look pretty.
Would you ever do something like that, Dick?
Oh, no. It sounds like it might be wrong, and wrong is wrong.
That's right. He's a good little Dick, isn't he?
I am.
Now, Jane, what have you done with your sister Sally? We haven't seen much of her, have we?
I don't know. She's with Mom and Dad, I guess.
She is. Yeah. Is it up to you to take care of her?
No.
All right. Well, what do you think you'll get for Easter, Jane?
I'm probably gonna get a big Easter basket. That's yeah.
How about you?
Oh, I'd love an Easter basket. I'd love a jelly bean. I'd like a carrot cake or a carrot just by itself. I'm not too picky.
That's lovely. He's so low maintenance, isn't he?
Isn't he? I hear you.
I was whispering. You're not supposed to hear me whisper.
I got ears.
Well, I want to tell you something to both of you. This show just wouldn't be the same if you weren't here.
Oh,
that's
so nice.
And as much a trouble as you are to me here in the glittery bunker, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah,
No,
that's sweet. Thanks.
We like being with you too, Victoria.
Oh, here you go. Why don't you take my little peep?
Jane.
There they go. Fun with Dick and Jane. Now, I have a new department to debut today, and I'm very excited to tell you all about this new department called Victoria's Favorite Finds. And I'm going to show you some things that are my favorites. And when I say favorites, I mean I don't like them at all. I don't know what they are. I can't find them, or they repulse me. But I'm going to show them to you. And here's our first favorite. It's this product called Sakura Sauce in a can of meat. That's right. Oscar Mayer created a Sakura Sauce in a can of meat, which, as the ad reads, it makes quick beef or pork meals with fresh cooked flavor. And who doesn't like fresh cooked flavor from a Sakura Sauce in a can of meat? That's right. The meat actually had a packet in it. So you would have to you remove that little packet from the meat, and then you'd eat that. Well, lovely. Now, our next fabulous find is this product. It is the Teasy Weezy. That's right. It is a soapless powder shampoo called Teasy Weezy. It is made, if you read the ad, with a sophisticated French perfume, and that is just glamorous. And who doesn't like Teasy Weezy?
Teaser Louise, all the guys call her Teaser Louise. Without her hair, without her face, she just stayed Teaser Louise.
She stayed Teaser Louise, and that is apropos nothing, but the product is called Teasy Weezy, and it is one of my fabulous finds. It really is. Now, this next one, I know you're all going to want one. I know you are. It is this product. It's called the Facial Gym. The Facial Gym. You stick it in your mouth, and you look 10 years younger. It is, I'm going to read from the ad. It is an amazing exercise secret for the face and neck. And you just do it for 12 minutes a week, and it only costs $5.99. Now you see if you can get into Planet Fitness for $5.99. You see if you can get that beauty products that make you look younger for $5.99. You can't do it. It also goes on to say it's for wrinkles, puffy eyes, crow's feet, laugh lines, sagging jaw lines, double chin, and the crepe neck. The crepe neck. I'm going to open up a creperie called the crepe neck. I think I will. It's safe, easy, and enjoyable. Just stick that little gem in your mouth, and you have a field day, and you'll look 10 years younger. Now, here's a product. This is a little book. I think it's more of a pamphlet, but it is worth examination. It is a book called Making Men Happy with Jams and Jellies. Do you do with the jams and jellies to make the men happy? I wonder out loud. Now, here's another fabulous find. This is the Bridal toilet bathroom set, I believe. It's just lovely, and it's lacy, and all that white lace in the bathroom where nothing splashes and nothing stains. I guess you put this in your show bathroom, the one you don't use because you don't want to disturb that white lacy virginal bathroom toilet. It's just lovely, and it is a fabulous find, I must say. Now, here's something that is equally as disgusting. These are crystal clear shoes. Now, if you know me, and I think you do because you're here this morning, I don't like those. What are they? The thong things that people wear, the flip flops. This is worse than a flip flop because we can see your feet. And it's enclosed in plastic, and it doesn't breathe. It's a plastic shoe. It came from Sears, and no wonder why we don't have Sears anymore. All right, my next fabulous find, and this is fabulous, darling. This is a toy called Little Winking Herbie Hippie. It's a hippie doll, and if you read the box, you'll find out that he winks. He's real cool, and he's fully jointed. And all you need to do is squeeze his little stomach, and he winks at you. I do the same thing. I would. If you scrubs my little tummy, I would wink at you. If not other things. Now, it is the holiday week, and I know a lot of people like to eat this next product. And here's an ad for it. It's from the Polish Ham Society. It is the Hamimagination campaign, which makes you want to eat pork products. I do it now. This is a ham that you will love on Monday more than Sunday, which means that you eat the ham on Easter Sunday and it's all right. But when you eat it again on Monday, then it's really good. Use your imagination. At the very bottom, underneath the Polish Ham Bureau logo, it says the ham for all reasons. I didn't know you needed a reason to eat a ham. One more holiday-related item. It's one of my favorite find recordings. It's a record album. I don't have anything to play it on, but it's the The golden eggs laid by the Lord. Yes, and of course it comes with my favorite hit tune, God Bless My Pie. and speaking of pie, well, let's see who's out there. Let's see. Lance used to have a pair of clear shoes. Lance, I hope you threw them away. I do. And Hope, like I said, it's fully jointed. Thank you, Hope. Well, Emma would like the winking Herbie Hibby. Yes. Well, I will see if I can get my hands on one. I think I'll order one from Amazon Prime. Emma also likes the Porridge for Prayers. Yes, it's a lovely tune. Not as good as the pie song, though. Now, look, friends, let's get back to the show because I have something I want to show you. It's the Kitschy Kitchen. It's a celebratory recipe, and I wanted to make something because it is our first anniversary show. So I have mined this recipe, and it took me a long time to find it, but it's called Carnival Cream. And see them look like little cups of something. Well, that's what they are. They're cups of something. And yes, they feature the Heinz ketchup in them. I know. I was skeptical that I tried the recipe, and we're going to sample it today live on the air. We are. So what I've gone and done was I have taken a cup of whipped cream. I took some cream and I whipped it into stiff peaks. That's my stiff peaks there that I whipped. I didn't find this image. I actually took that image of my stiff peaks. And into it, I've added a quarter cup of the tomato ketchup. That's right, from Heinz. Because is this our Heinz recipe after all? And I folded it in there. That's me folding. So you don't mix it, you don't stir it, you fold it like you're doing your sheets, darling. That's right. Now, in another bowl, not the same one, mind you, you're going to take 2 eggs and a quarter cup of sugar. Now, it looks like there's 3 eggs. That's 2 eggs and 1 broken egg. Well, I'm sorry, it's not pretty enough, but that's what it is. And you beat those up. And then after you beat those up, you fold the egg mixture into the ketchup mixture. Now, at the same time, while you're doing this, darling, you're going to chop up some maraschino cherries. That's right, maraschino cherries. They're some of my favorite cherries of maraschino. You know the ones, don't you, darling? Like these. There they are, maraschino cherries. You always see them on a bar. Now, did you know that the maraschino cherry is made from Raina cherries? That's right. See these little yellow cherries you see? They're usually in your store in July, and they come in a little bag, about 4 to 5 little Raina cherries, and it costs like $17. Well, they turn in to these cherries, and they were invented in a process in a country in Croatia. In the village, this lovely little village called Maraschino. Somehow that's why they're called that, darling. Now, when they make them there, they don't look all red and dyed. No. They're the natural kind. They're these luxurious Luxardo cherries. Aren't they beautiful? They really are. Now, when they first came out, they were very limited supply, and they were only used and enjoyed by royalty. But right now, we can get that, and for that little jar there, that's probably $180 for the real Luxardo cherries. But back to the recipe. I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent there. I was telling you all about my cherry. Now, here, I've taken the mixture that I mixed and folded, and I put them in these cute little cupcake papers. I did. And this is what the recipe looks like when you're all done. Now, that's not my picture because I have one right here in person. Now, here's my little Carnival Cream. This has been in the fridge. Can you see it there? This has been in the fridge overnight. No, the freezer overnight. And I'm going to taste it right here. This is me tasting Carnival Cream, a recipe from Heinz Ketchup. It's okay. You have to grab a piece with the cherry in it. It tastes like a ketchup ice cream. Now, some of you might like ketchup ice cream, but not me. But I'm so glad that we were able to celebrate the first anniversary by watching me eat that. You know, on my very first show, you watched me eat a sweet potato. So this is far more entertaining. And speaking of entertaining, I I wanted to bring on my best friend, your favorite part of the show, Mr. Dazzle, who's going to talk about spring. Mr. Dazzle, let's bring you on. Where are you? There you are.
Hi. How's everyone doing?
Dazzle, it's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. I was actually going over all of our past episodes from this year, and I found my Cuica that I made. So I'm very excited by that. I'm sorry.
There's never a bad time to show people your Cuica.
Right? Well, you know, I do love spring, but the spring I wanted to talk about today is a very specific one.
Oh.
It's actually not the season, but it's a toy known as the Slinky.
Oh, the Slinky. Oh, there
this
it
guy.
is.
Yes, sorry. This guy. I know, the point of it. So the Slinky, most people know what a Slinky is. It's a toy that's a spring, basically. You've seen it, you know, tumble downstairs, and people use it. Actually, you even use it for experiments in school sometimes, for a physics class. They're like, look, it makes waves. But the history of the Slinky is kind of fascinating because it was an accident. Back in the 40s, 1943, there was a naval engineer called Richard James. And, oh, yeah, that guy. Look at him. He looked...
he looks like a salty character to me.
He doesn't look like he'd make toys. So it was definitely an accident. What he did was he was a naval engineer, and he was trying to figure out a way to ship heavy or expensive or delicate machinery and parts on a boat, which... you know, has a fair bit of turbulence to it. So he was coming up with different springs to put things on so that they would absorb the shock. And one day, the box of whatever he was creating fell over, and all the springs walked down this pile of boxes. Or this is how the story goes. And so
I believe you.
he said, okay, throw away the idea for shipping pieces. I'm now going to try to turn this into a marketable toy. So he went to his wife, Betty, and showed her this toy that he had invented. And she looked through the dictionary for words that she thought described it well. And she came up with the word Slinky. So he spent the next 2 years or so inventing a machine that could coil 80 feet of wire into a 2-inch space, which is what the Slinky ends up being. It's metal that is just coiled really, really tightly, and it's a spring. They tried to sell it to a lot of stores, and the first one they had any success with was actually Gimbals, which is in the Philadelphia location, because they were from Pennsylvania. And Gimbals it wasn't selling well until they had a table set up for demonstrations. Once people could show that it wasn't a spring in a box, that it had this sort of movement to it, and it could run downstairs like, you know, the famous jingle goes, people went crazy for it. So this is 1945, like we're just pulling out of World War II, and they sold a Slinky for $1 a piece, which by today is about $15, and they sold out in the first 90 minutes. So of course they made lots and lots more. As time went on, it gained more popularity, and they started making more products as well. Actually, we should probably talk about the jingle. The jingle is the most famous thing about the Slinky, maybe. I think we have it.
Yeah, would you like to see it?
I'd love to see that jingle. It's got the song and everything.
Let's watch.
Who walks the stair without a care and shoots so high in the sky? Bounce up and down just like a clown. Everyone knows it's Slinky, the best present yet to give or get. The kids will all want to try. The hit of the day when you're ready to play. Everyone knows it's Slinky. It's Slinky, it's Slinky. For fun is the best of the toys. It's Slinky, it's Slinky.
There it is.
That jingle got in people's heads.
I've never forgotten it, but I do want to point out I've never been able to make a Slinky walk down the stairs like that.
No?
I've tried. I end up throwing it at Mum at the bottom of the steps.
Well, you need the right width of stair, and you need the stairs usually carpeting absorbs a lot of it, so it doesn't travel as well. But that's the physics part.
They should send the stairs with the Slinky. They should put a set in there.
So yeah, as time went on, they ended up inventing more different styles of Slinky. They made the Susie Slinky was in the 1950s, which was like this little caterpillar that was made from a Slinky. Then in the 60s, they had the Slinky Crazy Eyes, which I think we've seen. It's a pair of glasses with eyes, and then they sort of slink and hang down. And I don't know if they ever really stay up, but they definitely fall down all droopy.
They don't go downstairs either.
They don't go down. You might fall downstairs if you're wearing them, but that's your business. They also made the Slinky Dog.
Of course they did.
Yeah, that was one of the early ones. A lot of people know Slinky Dog from the movie Toy Story, voiced by Jim Varney, and they even made a roller coaster out of him. So you can ride a Slinky in real life if you go to Disney World. Excuse me.
Yes, I've rode some Slinkies in my day. I have.
They've made all sorts of versions too. They made different colored ones, plastic ones. I had one that looked very similar to that when I was a kid. It was like a rainbowy plastic one. They break a little easier, but they don't bend, so that's good. They come in all different shapes. They even made a stamp out of it in 1999. So that's pretty cool.
It is.
In 2000, it was actually inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame. So, oh yeah, that's what the Toy Hall of Fame looks like. Look at that.
Beautiful. I want to go to that.
It's like a Rubik's Cube exploded. But in that building, apparently there's a shrine to a Slinky somewhere, because in the 55 years that it existed at that time, it sold more than 250 million units, which is crazy to think about. Just, nearly half the people in the country had a spring that... So yeah, the history of the Slinky, it was an accident of engineering that just sort of got out of hand. And I don't know, I like stories where people can find the fun in things. I should note though that there's sort of another side to it, which doesn't necessarily have to do with the toy, but is very fascinating to me. The history of James and Betty, or sorry, Richard and Betty, their last name was James. They were the people with two first names. The two of them, they sort of had their marriage was partly a business partnership. I mean, Betty came up with the name, and he invented the machine, and they sold them together. They had a plant that was in Pennsylvania, and they ended up buying a compound in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, to live in with their 6 children. But over the years, Richard started to be very nervous about the idea of his material wealth. And he began looking for ways to sort of cleanse himself of the negative energy that he felt he was putting out there.
Let me just say that in this picture, he looks like he needs a cleanse.
Well, he certainly went above and beyond, because he began giving away all of his money and earthly possessions to a cult in Bolivia. And then he abandoned his wife and 6 children to move to Bolivia to be in this immaterial cult. And so poor Betty was actually left with the business bankrupt.
He was left holding the spring.
She never looked happier than when she was holding that Slinky. But to her credit, she ended up pulling the whole thing out. This was only in the 1960s when he left. So she became the CEO of one of the biggest toy manufacturers of the time, and would have these crazy commutes. She had 6 children she had to care for, and would leave them with these caretakers so she could travel hundreds of miles to the factory, because she refused to remove the factory from Pennsylvania, because she felt her home state, deserved to have those jobs, which is a pretty noble thing. She sacrificed a lot. And she, along with the Slinky, were inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame. She's actually part of that equation. She's a famous toy businesswoman. So I think she's someone really fascinating we should look up to. She made a big deal out of a terrible situation.
Mr. Dazzle, this isn't a random piece of history. This is a Netflix series. It is.
I know. The deeper I dive into these things, I'm just like, wow, the world's crazy. I'm actually excited for whatever we talk about next.
Well, Well, I look forward to it. Thank you so much, Mr. Dazzle, for joining us on the anniversary show.
Of course, always happy to be here. Here's to next year.
Yes. Wonderful. Now, I'm sorry to jump, but I want to go back to the Carnival Cream. I don't know what carnival would serve this. Let me just say, I can't get the taste out of my mouth. I can't. I think you need to wash that down with a burger and some mustard. Now, we're going to go and get crafty for a moment. We are, darling. I have a seasonal little craft that I think you'll all enjoy. You'll want it on your table for the holidays. And all you need are these items. You need a marshmallow Peep bunny. You need a Twinkie, who doesn't need one. And you need some little mini Oreos. Any cookie will do. And a pretzel, one tiny pretzel. That's all you need. So what we're going to do is I've got my Twinkie. There's my Twinkie, and then I have removed one little bunny from there, and I have a cup of Oreos, and I have a little pretzel here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my little Twinkie here, and I'm going to make an incision. Towards the front, leave a little Twinkie. I don't know the best way to show you this, darling, but you're gonna just cut a little. There you go. So it looks like a little puppet there. And what you're going to remove, you're going to make a second cut, just a little further back. I'm going to make the cut this way. You'll understand once I make it. And then you're going to remove that little middle section, so you see the cream in the middle, darling. But just for a moment. So now what we're going to do, we're going to insert the bunny in the Twinkie. And it fits right in there. I've made my incision perfectly so that the bunny is now in the Twinkie. Ladies and gentlemen, the bunny is in the Twinkie. And then what you'll do is you have your little cookies, your little Oreo cookies, and we're just going to place them. They're not staying. So what I've done, I have some handy Jif here. So I'm going to attach, I'm going to put a little bit of Jif on the inside. So that way my little cookie will stay on the side of the Twinkie, because you want your cookies to always remain on the Twinkie. I'm going to do that with 4 little Oreos. You could use whatever cookie you have in your cupboard. Just look and see what mommy has in there, and I'm sure it'll be just right. So now can you see? Look, it looks like little wheels on a car that the bunny's driving. And because he needs to steer, we're going to just place that lovely little pretzel there, and it's the steering wheel. And here you have a lovely centerpiece for your table. Or maybe you give one of each of these to all of the children or the grown-ups who enjoy Twinkies and marshmallow, and you just place this on their dish. Maybe it's a place card holder. I don't know. I don't care what you do with it, but there it is. It's lovely. It's cute. It's springy. And now I've got Jif all over my fingers. All right. Now, darling, I'm going to be back with you right after this brief commercial. That's what we call a teaser, darling. We call that a teaser. Teaser Louise. All right. Enough with her. What we're really going to do now is play the match game. How many of you came here to win today? It is the match game where people like you play with people like me for fabulous prizes like these. Look, this is the Dick and the Jane magnet. They're flat. They go on your refrigerator, your freezer, or anything that's metallic. They're lovely. I know some of you might have won a Jane, or some of you might have won a Dick last time, but there's more of them. If you have a Dick, then this time if you win, you'll get a Jane. If you had a Jane, now you'll have a Dick. And of course, if you have them all, you still might get my favorite little button, my lapel pin. I see people wearing these all around the world in my mind. Now, Here's how it goes. I'm going to hold up a little sentence. It's going to be missing a word. You have to fill in the word. That's right. You need to tell us what you think Victoria will say. And let's see how we'll start this off here, darling. I'm going to get all ready. I am. And here is our first clue. Jane didn't want to dye her eggs. Instead, she blanked them. Jane didn't want to dye her eggs. Instead, she blanked them. Now I'm going to fill in my answer while you come up with yours. I've got my answer. So we already have some answers coming in. She beat them. She beat her eggs. Like you do with an egg. She threw them. She killed them. She killed them. She boiled them. She poached them. She scrambled them. She sat on them because that's what you do with an egg. Hope she stole them. Oh, what a little thief she turned out to be. She threw them. She laid them. She ate them. What else did she do? She sucked them. Go suck an egg. That's right. I don't know why you would do that, but it sounds like something that people do sometimes. She fried them. Well, she cracked them. She did a lot of things, but she whipped them. Yes, maybe she folded them too. All right, enough with the music for the moment. I'm gonna reveal my answer. Where she hid them. She hid the eggs. It's Easter. She didn't dye her eggs. We had one where she. Oh, Richard, that's lovely. She didn't dye them. She murdered them. My answer was she murdered them. Die, murder. I don't know where my mind was today. Look, you've got to give me a break, darling. I've just eaten ketchup ice cream. Oh wait, we have another one though. We have another one. We'll do another round, shall we? Here's our second one. Dick eats Peeps, chicks, and bunnies, but his favorite marshmallow treat is blank. Dick eats Peeps, chicks, and bunnies, but his favorite marshmallow treat is blank. Chris says fluff. S'mores. Jason marshmallow. Microwaved Peeps. Fluff. Rice Krispie treats. Oh, Chrissy, I love Rice Krispie treats, I do. Yes, Rice Krispie treats. Here they come. Here they come. Bad. Oh, mallow moss. Oh, the mallow moss. Mallow cups. Snowballs. Oh, yes. Yes, Shelley, of course. I forgot snowballs were marshmallow. I would have written that down and you would have matched, but I didn't write it down. And unfortunately, you didn't match. But what I did write down is I wrote down fluff, and we had some matches there today. So that's wonderful. I think that Lance said the fluff word, and Emma said the fluff word, and Christy said the fluff word. Oh, there'll be magnets and buttons all over the place. There will be. I'm so excited that we matched, darling. But don't worry if you didn't match, because I have another round to play. What kind of a girl would I be if I didn't have another round to play? And I do. Here we go. Here's our next one. This is a quick one. Think quick. Spring blank. Spring blank. And we got the jazz and music. I fill in my answer. Spring. I always do the first thing that comes to my mind. Spring fling. Spring rolls. Spring break. Oh, I want to take one. Spring fling. Spring chicken. Oh, I'm no spring chicken, Maria. Springtime, spring fling, spring fling, spring fun, spring chicken, spring has sprung. It has. Chicken has sprung, break. Spring ahead, fall back, spring ahead. I didn't say any of that. Springtime for him. Well, I didn't say that, but I did say, and I'm gonna cut the music. I did say spring fling, and I know we had some matches there. I think we matched with there's Nancy, and we matched fling with Hope. We matched spring. There's lots. So we have some matches. What a lovely round of the match game we played. It almost takes the taste of the tomato ice cream out of my mouth. That's how nice it is. Well, darling, it's been lovely spending the morning with you. I do have to run, but I want to let you know a little secret. I have another performance, another show, another episode coming up on Sunday, April 18th. So mark your calendars, set your little thumbs going on your calendar in your phone to go off at 11 o'clock on Sunday, April 18th. Make sure, in the meantime, if it's time for you to get your vaccine in Connecticut, I think anybody can get it. Even newborns can now get the vaccine starting April 1st. In the meantime, keep your mask on. Keep it in place. You don't want to catch anything now. Keep your distance 6 feet away. Wash your hands. Use the little hand sanitizers and put them together until it all dries out, because that's what you have to do. And of course, mostly, and as we should do no matter what season it is, no matter what anniversary it is, no matter where we are in the pandemic, be kind to each other. I love you all. Thanks for coming.
If you're stuck inside and you need some fun, she's the grande dame of getting it done. With Victoria Sautee.
Hines, I'm angry with you. I'm angry with you. I'm angry with the ketchup.